It is my pleasure to introduce this fabulous human being. I have known her for a long time and I've watched her grow and prosper ever since. She is an authority in workforce development and knowledgeable commercialization. She's become one of the world's leading authorities on profitable workforce and learning development. She has helped some of the top universities, ASX, and Fortune 500 companies with the largest workforce cook up incredible strategies for success by effectively utilizing, managing, and amplifying their people, their workforce. With expertise in curriculum design, online learning, technology, marketing, commercialization of IP, Sarah leads organizations to the one and only destination that they really want to get to: productive, profitable business through innovative knowledge development. Today, she's going to show you how. Please welcome to the stage female entrepreneur of the year, Sarah Cordiner.
Hello, thank you, and welcome. Those of you doing everything, whether you are working in a job or running a business, probably want to get paid. And those of you who have a job that you love or a business that you want to grow, hopefully you want it to still be surviving down the line. Now, the thing is, organizations, institutions, and businesses collectively are losing billions of dollars a year, yes, with a B, by simply not utilizing their existing workforce's capability, i.e. their skills and knowledge. They have outdated knowledge management strategies, and they are so busy fighting the problems that their people cause and the gaps that their people leave when they move on, that they're not commercializing either. And that's pretty important in business. So today, I'm going to be sharing with you guys, whether you are a solopreneur, whether you have a small business, whether you work in an organization, whether you run the organization, whether you're an institution of some kind, how you can get the most out of your people to grow your business, to make sure that the knowledge that comes with your people stays in your business, and how you can use those skills and that knowledge that comes with your people to grow your business, make it more productive, and make some more money. So there are a lot of challenges that we face in business. There are a lot of challenges that come with having a workforce. And this is a pretty big one. This is my son. He's 4. He's a pretty big challenge. And before you laugh too much, he's also your challenge because he's your future workforce. Get this 4-year-old son of mine, him and all of the other kids that are going to be starting school in the next 12 months will graduate high school in the year 2040. Kind of hard to imagine that far away. Now, if we look back at the last 2-4 years alone and all of the technological advancements that have happened, how much our own work and businesses and jobs have changed. There are job roles today that literally didn't exist a year ago. So can you imagine what jobs we are going to be recruiting people for and training people for and trying to keep them engaged in the future? One of the biggest questions we need to ask ourselves today as organizations and institutions and business owners is, how can we make sure that we are able to evolve our workforce to be able to keep up? Because if we don't, we can't. Now, because my boy is starting school soon, we've been running around to all of these different colleges and all these different schools and doing the parent interview thing. It was pretty funny. As we walked into one very recently, the teacher came along to my little boy and he said, "Hey, buddy, what do you want to be when you grow up?" To which point I'm laughing hysterically because I've just, as geek as I am, read a report that says that by the year 2030, when he's only halfway through his education, 85% of the jobs that will exist then haven't even been invented yet. So again, how are we as organizations meant to keep up with this change? How are we going to attract people? How are we going to keep people? Because hiring people is expensive. Training them is expensive. Continuously training them is expensive again. But you know what's even more expensive? When they leave. Did you know that it actually costs roughly 150% of somebody's salary, almost twice their salary, to replace them? And that's just the hiring costs and the training them to get them started. from there, the other cost you have when somebody leaves and walks away is all of the knowledge and skills that they take with them. When they walk out of the door, everything they know how to do in your business, in your organization, walks out of the door with them. Now, this number here is another challenge that we as employers, as businesses and institutions are going to face. At the moment, right now, the average adult will have 5 to 7 complete career changes in their work life. Now, for my 4-year-old and all his mates that are starting school next year, that's set to double. So if it's that expensive to hire people and train people, our question needs to be, how can we keep people? We also need to ask ourselves, how are we going to, along with all of this, if that wasn't enough, actually make sure that we stay profitable? This means commercializing our knowledge. And people go, I'm not in the business of training, Sarah, so that doesn't apply to me. No matter what your business does, no matter what your industry is in, I don't care what you think your business does, what you do, what you sell, or who you sell it to. Your number one asset in your business, in your organization, are the people and the knowledge in their head. In terms of running a profitable organization, we must make sure that we have a knowledge management strategy to keep that knowledge within the business. We need to package it up. We need to download it from their heads as soon as they get their first day on the job. And then we need to make sure that we are making other streams of income from that incredible expertise. And there's some powerful things here that will then go on to solve all of these challenges. And this is my knowledge management strategy. There's 4 things we need to do if we want to build a future-proof organization, if we want to make sure that we are keeping all of that information and building our business ready for the future workforces. The first thing we need to do is to make sure that, first of all, we're actually using the knowledge of all of the skills that somebody has. Now, how many people here have been in a job where all of your skills and all of your knowledge wasn't being used? Yeah, quite a lot of you, right? And for some people, that's really frustrating when you've got all these things you could be doing, but it's not part of your job role. And so you watch someone else get hired for it, or you just see it not getting done at all. And because it's not in your job role, you're not using that skill. And this is not just a loss to the individual. It's not just pain to the person who sits there feeling undervalued, unrecognized, that their skills aren't useful to the organization, but it's also a massive loss to that organization because that skill's not being used. The irony of it all. So one of the things that I do when I go into organizations, when I go into institutions, when I go into small businesses, is we first conduct a skills audit. And this is a bit different to the traditional training needs analysis. That's important, but it's not where it should end. A training needs analysis basically will look at all of the skills that your staff don't have, and then so go and do training. It basically points out the problems. It doesn't actually provide any solutions. What we need to do instead, and this is what I do when I walk into organizations, is we ask the staff, there's something sitting in our ivory offices up in HR. We go to the staff and we say, hey, what other stuff would you love to do in your job? What other things do you think would be really useful to your organization that you can do or that you would love to do that you're not doing because your job description doesn't allow it? And you will be absolutely blown away, as I am every single time I do this within organizations, just how many people want to do more, how many people want to be more. If we were to just simply use all the skills that people we already have, the whole entire organization would change without having to hire anyone. And it's amazing when I go into these organizations, I sit down and say, we're going to conduct this skills audit. I'm going to go off and interview all of the staff. And it's usually pre-framed with the manager going, oh, good luck with that. They're all lazy. They don't want to do anything else. They're all just trying to get away with doing as little as they possibly can. They don't want to do anything else. But time and time and time again, people give me a very different story on the ground. They crave to to do more, to be more, to contribute more. Because contribution is a fundamental human need. And do you know why people leave jobs? They leave jobs because their skills aren't being used. It's what makes them feel undervalued. So here is a few things we need to consider when it comes to solving this first problem. We need to make sure we are using all of the capability and skills within our organization. Number one, do a proper skills audit, not just a training needs analysis. Those two things need to work together to get the most out of the people that we already have. We also, as part of that skills audit, need to give people the opportunity to self-assess how well they think they are doing against each of their current criteria. This is going to give you clues about not just what training skills gaps there are, but where people are excelling and could be promoted, and where people do need a little bit more help. By doing this whole process alone, your staff feel seen, noticed, and acknowledged. And believe me, that is going to reduce your turnover rate dramatically, which means reducing losses in knowledge and, of course, in money. Now, there are 4 things we can do to help improve the productivity and the profitability of our organizations by managing our talent in our workforces better. And the second one here is to, after we're using everyone's skills, now make sure that we do a giant download of all of their knowledge. If I can't walk into your business, your home office, your organization, your educational institution, and sit down at a desk and start doing somebody's job right now, you have yourself a serious knowledge problem. What do we mean by that? If your staff walk out the door, their knowledge and the money goes with them, this comes down to us simply not have taken the time to teach those people how to teach. Now, I'm not saying we need to make teachers out of everyone, but we should have a systematic process inside all of our businesses and organizations to make sure that they are taught how to tell other people how they do their job. There should be simple processes, how-to guides, how-to resources, complete with instructional videos that they store somewhere that anyone can access so that that information of how they do their job is kept forever. This really important. How many of you have ever been in any kind of workplace where there was only one person that knew how to do a certain thing? Yeah, and if they weren't there, it's, oh, can you come back Monday? There was one university who I was doing a consult for, and they had one enrollment officer. Now get this, enrolling students is literally a university's business, right? It's the only way they make money. And in this particular campus that I went to, there was only one person that knew how to enroll students. And if that person was off sick, they got this, oh, hi, can you come back Monday? Literally telling people to walk out the door. The money, the business, can you come back Monday? Because only one person knows how to do this. Now, that is a high-risk business. I don't care whether you have a home-based business or whether you're a multinational corporate organization. Every single job role in every single level of your organization should have how-to guides, training, processes, and procedures for how people do that work. If you don't, your business is at risk. Now, another classic example of this, as some pictures up here. This was, I believe, the 18th of January, 2018. I was 3 weeks into being the executive director and head of campus of a university. Feeling very pleased with myself, thinking, please don't break anything, Sarah. Please don't break anything, Sarah. All I had to do was go in, read some policies and procedures, and learn how to do my job and not break anything. As most first months go, that didn't go to plan because Cyclone Joyce decided to come along and smash the campus to smithereens. And basically, I had acres of campus that looked like this. That was not a great day in the office. I'm phoning head office to say, I think I broke some stuff. But here's where the problem lies. The problem lies in the fact that because a cyclone was coming, the groundsmen had all left town. Here's someone new in the most senior position in the organization who couldn't find the keys to the electrical cabinet to get the electricity back on, who couldn't find the keys to any of the gardening cupboards to try and clean up this giant jungle that had literally blown all over my campus. And we were unable to open the campus in the time that we should have been able to, purely because there was no documentation, instructional videos for me to follow to be able to take over that groundsman's job on a critical day, quite literally, that he wasn't there. And this matters in your business because no matter what you do, no matter what you think your business is or about, you are selling your people's knowledge and your real asset is their knowledge. So this second step of capturing this and teaching your people how to create courses or educational how-to resources is the second most important thing you need to do in your business. And of course, I help you do that. Now we're using all their skills. We're also taking that knowledge out of their heads. The next thing that we need to do to make sure that we are running a future-proof business, that we maximize our productivity, that we're maximizing our profits and keeping our people happy, now we got to store it somewhere. This needs to be a little bit better than the good old share drive. How many of you have been into an organization, they've just got this giant share drive? It basically reminds me of my laundry pile, absolute chaos. It is a complete snake's wedding and no one can find anything. It's basically 20 years worth of just digital dump. We cannot operate and manage our IP and manage our knowledge, our main asset for our organization, by just dumping it in a shared drive. It doesn't work. We need to have a proper system to do that. We need to make sure that all of our staff, not just the selected chosen ones, can actually upload their how-to guides, their how-to videos. We need to make sure that everyone can access them from any device, not locked behind the wall of a giant VPN, right? What's the point in having all of this knowledge locked away behind that company driver and server that nobody can get into? This must be an cloud-based platform that absolutely all staff can contribute to and access at all and any time. If we all had this within our business, one giant depository that was organized, that was categorized, that was constantly kept updated by each of the individuals who do each of those roles, we got a game-changing business right there. And there is no better platform for you to do that than the one and only Tekmatix, and I may be biased because it is mine. Thank you. The fourth and final way that we can future-proof our businesses, our organizations, our institutions is to make some money. Money's important. And it's really important in everything we do. Yes, we need to think about people. Yes, we need to think about the planet. Yes, we need to think about legals and all of the other stuff. But if we are not making a profit, we can't then go on to make all of the beautiful contributions that we do to society and to community and so on. We have to be profitable. So when we are facing a future that is ever changing and consumerism is changing and the way people want to buy is changing, there are two really important things we need to know about the knowledge within our businesses and the IP that we have that is fundamental to us making more of this money. Number one is packaging it all up. Oh, yes, we already did that in step 2, and then selling it. And depending on the type of organization you have, there are a number of different ways you could do that. Smaller businesses might like to create online courses, coaching programs, or memberships and literally sell their IP. Now, this worked for me. Back in 2014, I was doing very well for myself. I had a curriculum design organization, 23 trainers all across Australia, delivering all kinds of amazing training, if I do say so myself. And all of a sudden, on one Tuesday morning, the government that basically funded all of my clients, it was like one giant waterfall, decided 9 months into a 19-month contract that they weren't going to offer that funding anymore. I lost $2.7 million and 21 staff in a single day. It was almost as bad as the cyclone day, a little bit more personal. However, the reason why I was facing such a dire situation is because I had one income stream dependent on one market economy. So I faced two decisions. I had two options. It was go into administration or find another way. Now, those of you who do know me know I'm stubborn as all hell. So obviously I chose the harder route, which was to fight and find a new way. And I thought, how can I do it differently? I literally packaged up what I was doing for organizations and sold the recipe to the public. I literally gave away my best kept secrets, my systems and my processes for creating multi-million-dollar training programs. And the opposite of cannibalizing my business, which is what a bunch of my friends said, you can't give away the recipe. It created a multi-million-dollar business. So how can you sell your knowledge and IP in your business? The other way we can use this, and this works really well for our larger organizations, is we can use that knowledge and information to build our own future workforce. We can create in-house mentoring programs, and we can also use that knowledge for marketing. Edu marketing is the most powerful form of marketing that there is. This is when you and your people are demonstrating what you know, that you do know what you know, that you're really good at it. And that is going to build your brand. It's going to build your visibility. It's going to get you seen in the marketplace. It's going to make you an employer of choice because you become more relatable and more familiar and you show how good you are. But you're also going to be building, ironically, even more business. So here are the 4 steps to creating a future-proof organization or institution. They are making sure you're using all of your skills and all of your knowledge from the workforce you already have. They are recording all of the knowledge, processes, and how-to information that your staff have in their heads, putting it into a formal portal that will allow everyone to edit and access and build upon that knowledge so that when people leave, the knowledge and assets don't leave with them. And finally, in how we can then create a system to commercialize that knowledge and use it to build more business through branding visibility. So when we are in a world where change is literally our only constant, when we are facing unprecedented unknown, what we need to do is understand that our workforce, yes, is our greatest risk, but it's also the very thing that is capable of bringing us our biggest gains. So if you want to transform the future-proofing, the profitability, the productivity of your workforce, of your people, of your organization, then please do get in touch, book me for a workshop or a presentation, and let's change your workforce together. I'm Sarah Cordiner. Thank you.